Hey, what's going on, guys? Jonathan McKnight, Director of Operations, Momentum 360 here, and I am here today in sunny, hot, gorgeous Maryland. We are right on the bay, and this is actually a really great spot. So I wanted to make a quick YouTube video here just explaining what project we were up to and what we're doing. We're here at a fairly nice resort. This place is charging anywhere from $800 to $1,500 per night in peak season for their resort. I'm here on a Wednesday right now, so things are a little empty. But other than that, it's, you know, fairly bustling because this is the time. I am here sort of breaking my own rule, which is sort of a problem. Usually I like to advise people to stick to strictly 360 virtual tours as opposed to 3D virtual tours when it comes to long-term marketing assets. And that is what the inn here was planning on using these virtual tours for. They wanted long-term marketing assets. Not a problem. The only problem with Matterport, of course, is that it comes with excessive hosting fees, and that's something that can be really put the damper on some of these really nicer virtual tour projects that you might be able to come across. Well, every once in a while, you're going to come across somebody, something, somewhere who's able to afford it, can pull off the hosting fees that are associated with a job like this, and are willing to just fold it into their marketing budget. Now, if a organization is able to do that, in reality, they are at a much higher advantage. It is true that the 3D virtual tours are more engaging, they're cooler, they look nicer, they're easier on the eyes than 360 tours are, but it's that hosting that is just a problem. And so ultimately, we kind of convinced them like this. Look, if you book one of these rooms, it only costs them, $100, $150, $200. That's just average to turn down a room when somebody's used it. If you're able to book one of these rooms for one night and they're able to do that, you basically pay for the virtual tour. If you're able to book 3 nights, you pay for the hosting for 1 year and the entire project. So when you phrase it to the client like that, all of a sudden it flips in their head about how easy and what the actual scale is, especially when you lead in after that with how this is going to make them more appealing. This is going to give people more options and choice. When people go on vacation, and this is true whenever it comes to vacation marketing, when people go on vacation, they want to be assured, right? If you're spending $1,000 a night, right, for a week, you want to make sure that you're going to have as much fun and that where you're staying is going to be the coolest. You want to have the best possible time available. And so one of the ways you can do that is by engaging in really cool high-end marketing assets. And so they were kind of able to figure out that, okay, yes, our clientele is higher end. They are actually able to afford this kind of night. And so we need to have the marketing materials to match. And so that's what we were able to pull off. Now that ended up working out really well. How that came from a logistical standpoint when it comes to capturing these rooms is just figuring out a day where things are kind of slow. You're able to come in, capture the rooms as needed, and then we come back and we did something even more incredible. What we're able to do for this large property, and I'm going to be showing some B-roll right here, is that we got drone panoramics. We were able to tie that into the actual tours themselves. So now I don't have about 15 or so loose Matterport tours, which are fine on their own, don't get me wrong, but now by creating and sort of listing them inside of a cloud pano virtual tour, what I've been able to do is go ahead and create a vastly more encompassing experience. Now, for those of you who've been following on and listening to me for a while, you know that the drone panos are incredibly easy to take. You can capture them very quickly. There's really not a lot of effort that goes into it aside from obviously getting your part 1 of 7, because if you don't, yes. I love people. When you are going, obviously you need your part 107 in order to capture these successfully, and also you need the drone itself, you need the clearance. We're actually within 30 miles of Washington, D.C., so that included a lot of extra paperwork that I had to file. But I was able to basically double the quote, and they bought it hook, line, and sinker for the extra drone add-on. So when people come to me and they say, well, what can we do with drone? I've invested in this drone. How can I incorporate that into property marketing in any way, shape, or form? The answer is really simple. You just got to go and figure out ways to do value adds. Now, doing simple drone shots and drone videos, those are boring. Everybody's kind of already seen that. Not necessarily to the resort, you know, but they have people pitching these guys weekly. Hey, let me come do drone for 50 bucks. Let me come do drone for free. Let me just do anything to get my chops up. You got to understand, as a drone pilot, that's what you're up against. You're up against a lot of people who are willing to do it for free. So you need to figure out how to use your drone. And luckily, if you have a DJI drone, this is super easy. Figure out how you're able to encompass it with something else, because it's not worth getting into numbers, but it was incredibly lucrative, especially for the amount of time and for what needed to go into it. So again, if you're able to afford the hosting on the Matterport tours, go for it. Do it. It's worth it. You will ROI if you're that type of facility. These guys are. Upsell with drone, frankly, it's going to give people more of that sense of, this is where I want a vacation. I'm going to have the most amount of fun. Really nice place here. So that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.